Hello, Aluxers. Welcome back. Are you a professional at talking yourself down? Do you have a habit of arguing with yourself every day? You might even be doing it unconsciously. There are a series of thoughts that you may have lingering in your head that are keeping you back. You may be aware of some, but in this video, we'll go over the most damaging thoughts that you need to learn how to get rid of. Welcome to Alux. We're starting off the list with number 1, it's too late for me. So your friends live cooler lives than you. Even your enemies are doing well, but not you. Somewhere along the path, you got a bit lazy or just didn't think ahead enough. You got comfortable in the position you were in, and things were fine. Your high school friend got married, your college friend bought their dream home, your childhood friend now owns a business. You somehow missed every train, and you say to yourself, well, I guess it's too late for me now. But here's the thing. That friend who got married may have been pushed by the family and now they're miserable. That friend who bought the dream home might be struggling with lifetime debt. The friend who started a business had to sacrifice their teen years and now they don't have any real friends. You never know the full game other people are playing, nor do you know what they had to pay for it. You are playing your own game. It's never too late, or too early for that matter. Things happen as you do them. As long as you're still playing the game, you're gonna be fine. Number 2, it's not for me. This is something you tell yourself when you don't want to fail. You'd rather not do it than do it poorly. Well, it may seem like a noble thing to do at first glance, but in reality, this holds you back from doing anything at all. It's very rare to find something that's exactly for you. When kids dream to become an astronaut and actually become an astronaut, it's not because they did product market fit for their own dreams when they were 5 years old. It just so happens that their circumstances aligned. You can't really know if something is not meant for you if you don't actually do it. Number 3, it would have happened by now. Look, this is something you tell yourself when you don't know how the process works. You've been saving money for 10 years and investing it for 5. You should be rich right now, right? So why hasn't it happened? You read all the books, you followed the best advice, but you're not there yet, so what gives? You end up doubting yourself and eventually quitting altogether. But here's the thing. Trusting the process means having faith that as long as you're doing the right things, you will eventually hit the right outcomes. We've seen this happen with music artists time and time again. G-Eazy, Russ, Doja Cat, they were all just one song away from making it. You just gotta trust the process. Number 4, this is beneath me. It's one thing to put something on a lower priority and an entirely different thing to say it's beneath you. It puts you on a dangerous path to overconfidence and arrogance. You have something to learn from anybody and anything regardless of where you put yourself on the social hierarchy. Number 5, I already know how to do this. Skipping the fundamentals is one of the biggest mistakes newbies make. Without a solid foundation, everything you build will eventually crumble. You may have a strong sense of intuition that helps you to understand things faster than anyone else. If you use it to understand the fundamentals, you will be faster than anyone else. If you use it to skip ahead, you'll only build surface knowledge and misplaced confidence. How many times did you assume you knew how something worked, only to realize in the worst moment possible that you actually are lacking some critical knowledge? Number 6, this will never work. Look, some things will never work. If you're building a new video platform that will be the YouTube killer, it's probably not going to work out for you. But here's the thing. Sometimes you don't make something just to finish it, but to see how, why, and if it'll work or not. Imagine if anyone in the history of humankind had this "it'll never work" mentality. We would all be still chasing rabbits with sticks. Saying this will never work puts you in a thinker mentality instead of a doer mentality. We've got plenty of thinkers in the world, but not nearly enough doers. Number 7. This is who I am. You're saying this when you make the lowest possible effort to explain yourself. I'm always late. It's who I am. No. You're just being disrespectful of everyone's time, including your own. Being you is not a personality trait. If you 1.0 is lazy and unreliable, then it's time to become you 2.0. Being just who you are isn't a defining factor. Don't let who you are now hold you back from who you can become. Facts. Number 8. I don't know how to do this. The question you should be asking is, how can I do this? There are so many people who for some reason limited themselves to knowing just a few things. It's like they've got limited memory slots. Once they fill those up, they're all done. Have you ever been in a position where you had to do something you didn't know how to do, but then you learned it and did it and said, "Oh, that actually wasn't very hard. I didn't know I could do that." Yeah, most things aren't as hard as you think they are. Number 9. I don't really care. You really don't care when you're being selectively ignorant to preserve mental space. Now, are you doing that, or are you just trying to be cool and edgy? Because you really should care about stuff. After all, what's left to do if you don't care about anything? There are plenty of things to care about in this world. You eventually will feel really empty otherwise. Number 10. This is fine. Just because you're good at adapting doesn't mean you should always be doing it. If things are very much not fine and there's some conflict that needs to be resolved, do it. Don't let it linger too much. Don't let that be your new reality. If you get used to your condition, anything extra will seem to be too much of an effort. You got a little bit chubby and your clothes don't fit that well anymore, but you don't leave the house that often anyway, so this is fine. You see, this is fine turns into, okay, this is a problem really quick. Do not get too comfortable. Number 11. This shouldn't be this hard. The hardest thing you have to go through when you're doing something new is to accept the fact that you suck. At the very beginning, everything seems complicated and overwhelming. The pressure is suffocating and the stakes are too high. You ask yourself, how can people do this? Well, the answer is it gets easier over time. You get used to being under pressure. The high stakes don't scare you as much anymore because as humans, we have an inherent ability to adapt to all kinds of situations. If an asteroid were to hit Earth, we would eventually start making some memes about it. Number 12. I don't have an impact. You may work at a great cause and have the best intentions in the world, but you can't see your work having an impact. Well, the thing with impact is, it usually has a delayed fuse. You don't get to see it until way after the fact. It's really hard to predict. You've just gotta, like we said, trust the process. Number 13. There are people better than me, so why bother? Nobody expects you to be the best in the world. Do you know how the Nike logo came to be? It was designed by a young graphic design student for the whopping price of $35. Was she the best logo designer in the world? Probably not. Yet the logo still stands decades after. Sometimes you are the right person at the right time in the right place. Just because somebody else might do a better job than you doesn't mean you shouldn't grab the opportunity. People rarely win because of their competence alone. Number 14. This is not meant to happen for someone like me. When you come from a background of things not happening, you get used to that mentality. If all of your ancestors lived in poverty, that doesn't mean the same will happen to you just as a default. You can break that link. You can be the one who turned the boat around. It's extremely damaging to condition yourself based on your family's background. Number 15. they keep it a secret. You think that those who made it don't want to tell you how they did it. They're keeping it a secret and they don't want you to find out. But this kind of mentality leads to you believing all kinds of conspiracy theories. You disregard the genuine work that most people are doing as just a facade that masks the real deals made behind closed doors. And look, some of that stuff does happen, but that's not what you're focusing on. You want someday to confidently say, okay, I made it. And there's no secret on how to do that. It's different for everyone. Now, if you found yourself within any of these thoughts mentioned and don't know what to replace them with, download the Alux app and get started with 10 minutes a day because honestly, there's so much insight in there that will help you to grow and level up every time you listen. Now, Aluxers, since you made it to the end of this video, you know we're holding on to a bonus, and that is number 16. This is impossible. Possibility is not binary, okay? It happens in increments. If you are morbidly overweight, is it possible to eventually have the body of an Olympic sprinter? Maybe. But it's 100% possible to eventually look sharp in a suit, go on a hike with your kids, or have your friends tell you, "Damn man, you're looking healthy." But when you've set yourself up on the impossible, it keeps you from seeing all the other possibilities that are within your reach. It's like that saying, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. For some, having unreachable goals gives them a great sense of purpose. But for others, it works to their detriment. It demotivates them. Some things may very well be impossible. But somewhere along the path, there is a point where you'll love the person you became. Don't forget that. We'll see you tomorrow, Aluxers, for the Sunday motivational video.